Hi, this is Truman. I'm coming from my garage. I also teach acrylic and watercolor painting, and I want to show you another way to transfer art using the sublimation process, where we basically just paint on a piece of board. And I'm going to introduce you to some acrylic painting techniques. If I get this thing loaded up here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so acrylics, again, if you aren't familiar with them, it's really it's actually just sort of plastic. Okay, and that's why it's called acrylic. Okay, and this set here I bought at the local store. Not sure how much these would cost in Addis Ababa, but we're going to go ahead and I'll give you a sort of art lesson here. Okay, so what we've got, place for this. Let's see, set this up a little bit. There we go. Okay, got my lights here. Okay, so here's my board, and what I do is this board here. Again, all you need really is a white board or a white cardboard. This is a piece of wood, thin piece of wood. It's got white paint on it. This is sort of a household paint. Doesn't have to be anything special. As long as it's white, you start with. Acrylic is a water-based material, and so having a sort of a white base will make the colors stand out. And like I said, I was very enamored by the Adey flower. So what I'm going to do, when I start doing my paintings, I use watercolor-based pencils, and I'm going to pick out maybe this color here. This is a little bit, I'm sort of picking up a little bit of this color, this reddish material here. And again, the idea here is that this becomes a piece of artwork, okay? So, and then we're gonna see how well it transfers through our printer, sublimation paper, and so forth. So I basically use this as a reference. It's always good to have reference material. So my reference, I'm just gonna come in here, and I think this is also part of what makes the artwork really nice, is that it's hand-drawn. And we can also end up cutting out the paper itself, so we don't care so much about all this other stuff on the board, okay? But I notice there's 3 leaves. These leaves are just beautiful. Let's see if I can capture these. Six, 7, 8. And one thing I like about doing flowers is no matter how well you do them, they're always perfect because everyone's always different, okay? So here's my flower. I might even put a few branches through here and vignette out some things. Vignette is sort of a way of artistically talking about doing sort of light to darks, but we'll talk about that later. So I've got my outline. I've got, this is my basic drawing. And then as far as setting up the acrylics, what I do, I usually take like a paper plate. It can be a pie plate or just something that just holds a little bit of moisture to it. I put a cloth, this is a paper towel, and you just add a little bit of water. And what the little bit of water does, it keeps your paints moist. Okay, again, this is acrylic. Acrylic is a form of, basically it's a plastic. You're painting with plastic. So I'm gonna fill up my cups here. I have little cups that go with my kit, my paint kit. As I can drink it. So this is going to sit off to the side over here. I have my brushes. Set of brushes. I only need about 3. This is referred to as a fan brush. Okay, obviously you can use fanning, putting a lot of texture in. This is just a straight brush, crease cut at the top, and of course I have one that has a round brush. That actually it's called a flat brush, and this is a round brush to get that nice tip to it. And so and again, I love these colors. So when you're doing acrylic, like a watercolor, similar, you want to start with your lighter colors first. So I'm going to try and replicate the brightest orange, sort of a yellow orange that I can. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some orange in here. A little shot of orange. And a little bit of yellow. This is, looks a little green. but that'll work. So a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white. White color. White acrylic works really well. Again, you want it, the term here is opaque. You want to not to see light coming through. Oops. You know, this one here, read the instructions. This has got metallic in it. I don't like, we're not going to use that one. Just straight white. Just a straight white acrylic. Okay. Again, it's always good to read there we go, white. Okay. And what I'm going to do, have some napkins here. I'm going to get rid of that metallic. Don't like the metallic. Get rid of that. So I've got my basically 3 colors. I may even add a little bit of red, because you can see here there's a little bit of red, maybe a little bit of brown here. So I might go ahead and add a little bit of that to mix it. A little bit of orange to get it darker. When you want to make a paint go darker, you never use black. You always use the complement of the darker part of it. So if I'm going to do something yellow, I'll go maybe a little bit orange or a little bit of red. And this red has some brown in it, but I would never ever put black in there. Even for shadows, you never do that either. So we've got this, got my my water here. To kind of show you what we're going to do. Wet this up a little bit over here. I'm going to see if I can't get a little bit of this mixed together. So that gives me my, let's see, a little more yellow, a little more white. You see, I get in there. I don't mind actually leaving some of the mixture on here too. See that? Okay, it could be a little more yellow, I think. A little more white, actually. And to me, brushing this, even leaving things like that, you don't want, it doesn't have to be all just one color. We're going to mix it up later as we go along. But I like I said, I like doing flowers. I don't mind putting it on thick. We can fix some stuff later. But leaving sort of these marks in there, you know, where the raw paint is, to me, that's part of the hand craftsmanship, or part of that, what makes a painting. So I'm not too worried about it. Even if it's a little thick, pile it on a little bit, it has some texture to it. You know, stuff like this. See that? I've got a little bit of a, I've let it sort of, you know, get thick here a little bit, if you can tell. Things like that. That lets people know that it's a piece of handwork, that, you know, somebody actually spent time on it. And I'm gonna put a little bit of orange here towards the center. It seems to have a little bit like in here someplace. And I get this, now this is a wet brush. A dry brush, so I clean off my brush and just sort of mix it in a little bit. Put a little bit here, here. And I might even use my other brush. This one here just has water on it, just to kind of blend it just a little bit. So I can kind of go back and forth and just sort of move it around a little bit and blend it. I like to, when I sketch, I like to sketch fast. So I'm gonna pick a little bit of this orange, yellow mixture, maybe put a little bit up here at the top. And I don't mind putting in, like I said, sort of this really quick technique. But you go light to dark. So I'm always looking at things that go light to dark. I like the contrast of light to dark things. We're gonna put this down at the base. Again, the idea is that the sun, the light is coming this way. So we're gonna put a bit of a shadow feel down here. Maybe you can add a little bit of this around the corner. And then this becomes sort of this center. Now I left some white board coming through just because I think, I like the idea of this idea that it's a sketch. I think my skills really are kind of like how to sketch things. I don't really like to spend a lot of time. I'm sorry, I'm doing a video? Well, thank you. Okay, thank you. Had delivery there, okay. I might even put a little outline here. See, like that. We can fix this. Yeah, sometimes when you're in a garage, when you're doing videos, I do that for my class, you get a few interruptions. I think my grandson will be getting up pretty soon, so we may hear him a little bit. But I use the point, a little bit of water, a little bit darker red and orange here a little bit. And I'm gonna go on the outside just a little bit. See that? I like this idea of creating the brush. Again, part of art is interpretation. And I can clean up the rest of this later if I want. So there's my flower. I've left some white here. If I look here, we've got kind of a shadow this way and these little puplets coming through that are pretty dark brown. So I'm gonna get, again, don't use black when you wanna go dark. You always use a complementary color. Complement meaning something on the same range. But yeah, I think a little bit of this will be nice. Yeah, a little bit of brown mixed with the orange. Actually, kind of a red orange, a little brown. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna see if we can't just put some dots in here. This is how Monet would paint. He painted with dots. I think we've got that kind of captured. See the little dots? And I'll go back in here and just put a couple. I left the white coming through just a little bit. I like highlights. I like to have, that's called contrast, where you have lights and darks. But that red base is kind of a neat color. I like how it works. Let's see. And then for the outside now, okay, let's see. I think a little bit more true yellow. One thing nice about acrylics is you can go back over with a little bit of white and the color and just go on top of your other color. So we could actually put just a little more yellow on top of this that has white in it. Kind of gives it a highlight, a little brighter color to it. So I can go back over this. See that? And I can kind of take a dry brush and push it around a little bit. I also notice there's ribs, sort of textures in this. So you got a little dark here, a little bit lighter on top. And use this round brush. I'm gonna use this light, very light yellow with the white. And I'm gonna put in these, looks like each leaf has sort of a, rib to it. Put these in. Maybe a little more brown. Well, again, that's sort of an interpretation. It's got a little bit, probably a little yellow, a little bit too orange. If I were to do another one, I might have a little bit more of an orange feel to it. In fact, I can always, like I said, you can add more color to it. Let's see, a little more. There we go. A little more of this, maybe. We got kind of a yellow over here. A little more yellow towards the top, yellow and white towards the top. I think it's also this idea of the contrast of light to darks. There's several types of colors that are used. I think this has potential. So that's basically just getting the flower done. Now, I'm going to show you another technique which is kind of interesting, which I think will work. And for this, I'm going to use my my flat brush. And I'm going to add just a little bit of a color This is if we just want to do this. In other words, we could print this and then just cut it out in the paper, which maybe that's what I'll do. I think we'll just use this one for that test. So in other words, we can cut out. So I'm just going to give a little bit of a dark character around the outside, a little complementary color, just for the outside edging, just a little bit. Might be a little too dark. One thing about painting is you can always do it again. Yeah, I think that line around there, I'm not too happy with that. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit more yellow. A little more white. Let's see where my white paint go. This metallic one. Oh, there it is. There's my white. A little bit of that. Just a little bit of that. There we go. That's a little. There we go. So I'm going over that line. So I can actually make it a little bit lighter. See, this is what's nice about acrylic. You can kind of go back over your work. If you're using watercolor, it doesn't quite work as well as that. And for this rough area out here, I think what we might do, just so we know where to sort of cut off the edge. One thing nice I like about painting is the idea I don't have to have sort of the purest rules of it's just got to be painted. So I'm going to go back to my pencil. I think that'll work. Yeah, that's fun. Again, it's just a demo to see if this concept will work. And as always, you need to be able to put your signature on. And we're going to see if this pencil looks at the sublimation. So I'm just going to put a trim in down here. Okay. Again, just a technique. We're gonna use the printer on this and see how this prints, and then we put this on a piece of, I'm going to use a 50% polyester and cotton, and we'll see how well this goes, okay? Take care now.